Alright, I'm back for a short couple of minutes. I've already seen what I needed to see versus the Ring Killer Sadako. Behavior spent their entire budget on animations and graphics and shit, and not a much effort on the actual killer itself. Pristine character creation, pristine animations, it's got the fear factor, it's got the looks, it's got the whole feeling, the atmosphere, all of that. That killer is amazing at role play. If you want to role play the type of chases and things like that, even possibly even make a hide and seek mode or something like out of it, completely fine. Great, perfect fucking killer. Usability and Dead by Daylight though, she's trash. Absolute trash. She ain't good. She ain't an S tier killer by any means. Heck, she ain't even an A tier killer. I wouldn't even say she's B. She has map presence, sort of. Like she can teleport between TVs, but after she teleports between the TV turns off. So you don't want to just continuously teleport from TV to TV to TV because the TVs are going to be turned off when you teleport to them for a temporary amount of time. When a survivor picks up the particular tape, you have to basically focus in on that survivor by teleporting the TVs that they're going to and trying to manifest as much. I didn't already forgot what it's called. I'm just gonna say curse for now because I don't remember what it's called. There are 7 bars, which means you have to teleport between 7 TVs and they have to be near before you can even give them the mini mori. So unlike Pyramid Head, where you can get the guarantees just by making them step in the group, you actually have to go through a whole bunch of hoops to get that mini mori with her. By that time, you might as well just down them and hook them and call it a day. You know what I'm saying? It's easier to hook them and send them on their way than to keep fucking with them and teleporting in and things like that. Why they decided to make it 7 bars instead of like 5 bars or even 4 bars is beyond me, or even a gauge that just fills up. um, like I said, it's all of their money went to the budget. They didn't think about the actual killer and how it goes. All the animations and graphics and everything involving her, except I don't really like that screen overlay that much, but I mean, it is what it is. It's putting you, like I said, it's the role playing experience is what you're getting from that, not a strong killer that you can main. It's I don't just feel like role playing, being a killer, being in the ring, being cool. This particular killer is definitely a cash grab. All I can really say. Killer and Survivor duo, they're cash grabs. You can get these amazing animations and all of that, but you're not gonna get a usable killer. So, you know, it is what it is. They're getting money based off the killer's reputation instead of their actual skills in making a killer. It's sad. I know they're working on another game, and this particular killer is just a showing, an example of what they're working on, pretty much is what this is. I understand why they dumped a bunch on that. But having a good graphics, killer and all of that in the showcase, but not well thought out powers, attacks, and usabilities, etc., is poor. Very, very, very poor. I haven't even watched through the rest of the content, so I'm just gonna leave it here. But I figured I would give you my immediate reaction on this killer. It's not gonna change. This killer's trash. Well, the usability of the killer is trash, but the killer itself is amazing. The animations and so much time. You can tell the delicate work that was put into it and the budget they used to create what they wanted to create. Like you can tell that Dead by Daylight, is bringing, the heat when it comes down to it now, when it comes to updating the graphics and the killer's moves and things like that. However, there's still behavior, so, there has to be that degree of incompetence that comes along with it. Everything that they do, they always do something great and then something else falls off because something else is done great. This case, the animations look good, and nowadays graphic and animations sell. However, this killer's bad. Nah, I mean, there's nothing more I could really say. It's just bad. You got a mouse one killer with an effect that they can fill up a bar on somebody, and if they manage to fill up the bar, they get the Mori. But the bar takes so long to fill up that it's really not worthwhile. And you gotta think, if there's 7 little bars that you have to fill out on 4 different survivors, and you get most of the bar filled up on teleporting between TVs and things like that. I mean, playing the game regularly, yeah, the bar is going to fill up, but you'll hook the survivor out before, the bar fills up. So they definitely need to decrease the amount of bars from 7 down because you have to take however many you want, for 4 different survivors. Or they need to increase the amount of, I don't know, is it like grief or something? I don't remember. Grief or whatever the thing's called that survivors get per action. Like if a pallet or survivor pallet stuns you, they should get grief. If you break a pallet or use any of your power while a survivor is nearby, they should get grief from that. Like everything that you do should be increasing grief on the survivor. The one thing I'm surprised they didn't do is it doesn't look like you're affected by any other things passively while building up grief. And like I said, I don't know what it's called. I'm just making up random words. Because with a 7 stack bar, you would definitely need to build grief on everything that you do, or at least have add ons, like iridescent add ons where you build up grief, everything that you do. I mean, like 7 bars, though, that's ridiculous. You gotta fill up all 7, then you have to down the survivor to get a Mori. Generally, during that time, I mean, it has to be enough to where, again, you want to have to make it where it's their second time getting hooked, minimum, where you can Mori them. You don't want to make it easy to where they can get the Mori before they've even hooked the survivor one time, obviously. But I think like 4 bars, honestly, would be round about the sweet spot and rebalance the entire equation over that because it is extremely, extremely difficult. Even when they were running around and purposely trying to fill the bar, it took them quite a bit of time, and they were purposely trying to fill the bar. Just think if he wasn't trying to get, any type of grief or anything else, and they were just running around, and he was like, "Hey, see much, let's see how long it takes for you to fill my bar up," type thing. It would have taken him forever. By that time, he could have just downed him and just went on with his day. And as long as you don't run near any other TV, she's not going to build grief. And that's what it really comes down to. She's essentially a very graphically nice looking mouse one killer that can teleport around map, which has, a basic set of movement. As she's chasing you between loops and things like that, she's going to want to chase you by TVs, which she can teleport to and increase your bar. If you run your loops like you run any other mouse one killer, and you don't run off into the oblivion, where TVs generally are stacked, you really don't have to worry about it. And once that TV's been used, she can't use it again for a while. So you got a little bit to where you can run the, rest of the loop out and then leave. But you have to do that 7 times to get the full bars. I mean, there's other ways to fill it, I'd assume. But just teleporting between TVs seems to be the fastest way. They did it with tape in hand, teleport between TVs. It was a full bar per teleport, chasing things like that. And then it finally got filled. Imagine doing that 4 different survivors. And I mean, I understand that you're not trying to Mori out all 4 survivors. She'd be happy with one. But in that case, why not give her a rage bar? And when that rage bar fills up, she gets a free Mori. And make that, take a little bit of time where you don't have to terrorize one tunnel or terrorize one survivor over and over and over and over till you get it and then Mori them. It'd be better to reverse the situation. She builds up power. When she gets 7 bars in on any survivor, she can then Mori a survivor out with a mini Mori. And then make it, if the survivor has done this, like, if they've touched the tape or if they've turned off a TV or something, they get marked for death essentially. But you can still stay with the pseudo ring concept. But that's what I would like to talk about. Like I said, 12 minutes or so, just in case I decide not to come back to it. This killer is not at all impressive when it comes to usability, but very impressive when it comes to the graphics and animations and everything surrounding her. Obviously, they're showing what they've been working on in their new game that they've been working in, but on flexing with that, they showed true incompetence on the usability and all of that, which makes me kind of question, whether the new game they're coming out with is going to have any type of good gameplay mechanics or if it's going to be simplistic like Dead by Daylight. The game's very simple. The player base is what comes up with the tech and all of that. Like Rocket League. Rocket League is very simplistic, but the player base comes out with all these new mechanics, not the devs. You know what I'm saying? Which makes the game hit ball into goal very simple. Like old Call of Duty, probably still new Call of Duty. Pull left trigger, touch right trigger, person dies. Click stick in, left trigger, right trigger. They die. Left trigger, right trigger. It's the player base that comes up with the new tech and all the other, gameplay and the skill cap and all of that. Or skill ceiling and all of that. So what is complicated and hard to learn is because the player base is making it harder to learn. Because the skills and techs they come out with. So just keep that in mind that again, everything I'm saying is taken with a grain of salt, and all opinions are subject to change at any moment. But as of now, I'm pretty much locked in. She's average killer. You know what I'm saying? She's about, I was gonna say on the pigs level, but I mean a lot of people would take that the wrong way if I said she was like the pig. Because that's what she reminds me of. They both run around. They both inflict a status on you. When that status fills up, you kind of die. You have to take the tape to the TV, things like that. I mean, Nato said something about the pig too, but I originally, when I was seeing that, I thought pig as well. It's kind of like a mini game that you play that gives you a sort of side objective that you don't necessarily have to do, but you can do. So, I mean, it's like, it is what it is. She's got spirit phasing, but it's not unfair phasing like the spirit used to have. I mean, it's good that they added, directions and things like that for the spirit, but I like Sadako a lot better because she's intermittently showing up, which is that's how I thought the spirit originally was going to be like. But like I said, graphic wise and all of that, it's the best out there, bar none. Best out there. Usability, terrible. So S tier graphics and animations, etc., etc. And about D, C, C to D tier when it comes to, let's just go with C, average. Let's say average tier. Because I mean, Mouse 1 killers would technically be average. The C is average. We're not going off no American bell curve bullshit ass scale where somebody who should have failed gets a B in the class because the top guy is dumb as shit too. We're going off of like the college scale where most people get C's in college because that's the average grade. If you show up every day, you do your work and all of that, you'll get, a C. If you understand the concept or the content and take the time to actually learn it and internalize it, you'll get a B. And if you show up to every class, you pay attention, you take notes, you apply yourself, etc., you'll get an A. And then you can get above an A if you do the extra credit assignments and things like that, because 4.0 isn't the end. I had people in my college graduate with 4.2, 4.3, I think the highest was a 4.4 GPA from doing all the extra credit, never missing a day, always coming in pristine, things like that. So 4.0 isn't the highest. 4.0 is is an A, so that'd be like 100%, but it isn't the highest. You can go beyond 100%. So yeah, on a college actual grading scale where things actually make sense, I would say she's a C killer. She's average. She doesn't have anything really pulling for her usability wise, but she also doesn't have anything negatively pulling against her as well. Now, good thing about this is it's still public test beta, so if they really wanted to apply themselves and change how some things go, they could easily push her up to a B tier, which is where she would belong. She should be B tier with all the mechanics and everything else that she could potentially have. Kind of sucks seeing her in C tier and having all of this extra value essentially gone to waste. But like I said, role players, you're gonna love this. Very good role playing. If you ain't a role player and you're trying to try hard, I don't suggest you playing her unless you want like a no mither killer, hard mode killer. I don't know. C's average. C is passing. Like I said, most things get a C. So, like I said, this ain't no Belgrade curve or bell curve or any whatever the fuck it's called. Not a bell curve. It's not anything like that. It's just standard. See, either way, it's just a little short going over the new killer and all of that. I'm not gonna pop back on after that. I'm pretty sure my opinion here is gonna be set in stone. But I've seen a little bit of killer gameplay. I've seen a little bit of survivor gameplay. I'm about ready to go watch Ohm Wreckers stuff, things like that, to see how he plays it and everything like that. Like I said, he's not like an esports player. He's just kind of a back and forth type dude, and we'll see how things go on that opposite end. So yeah, I might talk about this again. I might not, but I'm pretty sure my final grade on this killer is definitely, I'd say, average, about a C. Not good, not bad. There you go. I'm getting off of here. 20 minutes was my limit for this, and we're coming up on the last 10 seconds. So thank you for anybody that wants to listen to what I got to say. As always, supplement your lifestyle, and I'll see you.